Bhagavata Narayana Swayam Vyasena Kradita Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharata Bhagavati
Ambatpamanu Sambradami Bhagavati See, I had mentioned no that Kathopanishad 2.11 and 1.2.4 and 1.2.2, the earlier page.
Correct.
I said I will tell about that. So both the things what it says is the first one 1.2.4 Lord Yama tells he is trying to persuade Hrishikesh. He was not very keen on giving him this Brahma Vidya because too young and he wanted to make it sure that not out of curiosity he is asking. So 1.2.4 tells Duramete Viparite Visuchi Avidyaya cha Vidyeti Nyata Vidya Vipshinam Nachiketasam Manye Natva Kama Bhagavo Alolupanta meaning not out of any curiosity you are asking, whether you are really ready. In the sense, what he says is this there is two terms. One is called mumuksha, another is called jignasa. Jignasa meaning jnatum micha jignasa meaning just to know. So to know can be there for anything. People out of curiosity want to know. Whereas mumuksha and followed by jignasa meaning you are valuing freedom in your life as the reality you want to discover. If that is the focus, that is the purushartha, then only this jignasa is supposed to be given. Only to a person who is interested in looking, you want to understand life's reality. Only that person this knowledge will help also, it also should be given. That is the rule. So that is what is mentioning in that 1.2.4. So he probes him and finds out that yes, he is totally committed to this, discovering this reality of life. Then he gives him Atma Jnana. That is one thing. And the second thing is Prayascha, Shreyascha, the 1.2.2. Also, what he says is 1.2.12, I think. Yeah. 1.2.2 only. Yeah. That is Prayas, Shreyas. It looks like there is a choice. Like in life, we can either choose Shreyas or Prayas. Either you can choose Atma Jnanam or other. But if you really look into the whole thing, there is no choice. In the sense, every Prayas, everyone who wants to look for that small and big pleasures, ultimately why they are looking for it is not because he wants to have that small pleasure or that big pleasure. Either he want to acquire a car or want to acquire a good job, or acquire a good wife, or acquire a good house, whatever it may be, small and big, what you pursue is ultimately to be a happy person. So you are not pursuing something only for that sake. You are pursuing for a lasting happiness in your life, Nitya Sukham. So, whereas every praise meaning anything you achieve in life other than Atma Jnanam will take you only that far. Eventually you will feel dissatisfied and you will again look for something better. That is why you keep on endlessly searching. So, whereas Shreyas is something, an understanding through which you are settled, your life's understanding is so settled, thereafter whatever you do, you are doing it only as a, as a gratitude or as a, in order to be participative in this great yajna of Ishvara, which has given you that Purnatvam. Since you are already feeling complete, you will participate in everything with enthusiasm, because you have nothing to lose, nothing to gain, and it is all, the whole thing is Ishvara's vibhuti. So you will be able to participate with a lot of enthusiasm, because you have already settled the equation between you and Ishvara as Sarvam Ishwaram, and that Ishvara Swarupam is Aham. So that is the difference between prayers and strayers. Strayers is something everlasting, Nityam, whereas prayers is, it keeps you on a trip. So there is no choice between these two. That is what he is mentioning in this 1.2.2. What he says is, Shreyascha preyascha manushya metaha tau samparitya vivinakti dhiraha shreyohi dhirobi preyaso vrinite preyo mando yoga kshemad vrinite. Only a person who has really have not done the proper inquiry, mandaha meaning you have not a proper inquiry, only that person will look for yoga kshema. Yoga kshema means what? I want to acquire, and whatever I have acquired, I want to keep it. One is yoga and another is kshema. People who go for yoga kshema are manda meaning you are not yet ready, you are not analyzed life thoroughly. Whereas dhiraha vrinite meaning he will intelligent choice he will make of what? Understanding vivinakti dhiraha, for understanding life reality. So that is the difference between shreyas and prayers that he is telling in the 1.2.2. These two were discussed in the last class. So I thought I will just share it with you.
Yeah.
Now where are we? We have to start with
the limitations are due to ignorance and can be removed by knowledge.
Yeah, we will start. Yes.
If we say that in spite of being Ishvara, you experience limitations, it is understandable. It is due to not recognizing yourself as a non-dual self. Therefore, Sankara says that this ignorance along with its effects, which are the limitations, has to be removed by knowledge. For this we have Shruti, the Veda, supported by non-Vedic texts like Gita that corroborate the Shruti, and also reasoning, Yukti, that supports the Shruti. All three are important. The Shruti is the source book for this knowledge, and this knowledge can be acquired here now in this birth. If you know that the self is non-dual, you are free from the sense of limitation. The body, mind and senses will continue to have their limitations, but they do not cause the self to be limited. That the body is limited is not the problem, because it does not look upon itself as limited. The mind is purely a thinking faculty that can function in the form of cognition, memory, emotions and so on. But it has no sense of limitation. The sense of limitation is centered on the I notion. On inquiry, this I, the ahankara, the subject reduces itself not to another thought form but to the content of the thought form, which is consciousness. The one who recognizes that I, the Pratyekatma, as identical with Ishvara, sees that he is already free from any form of limitation. He knows that he is the truth of everything, and therefore the Shruti says, if one were to know this here, there is truth. Ihe chet avadit atta satyam asti.
Yeah, basically that he explains anyway. You read it, yeah.
On the other hand, if one were not to know here in this life, na chet ihe avedit. The loss is immense. Mahati vinastihi. Upanishad 2.5.
Yeah, this verse is what is his thing. Ihachet avedit ata tasyam asti. One who knows that this is the reality of life, ihachet avedit, then he is satyam. Doesn't he is equivalent to satyam. But the one person who does not know, nachet iha avedit, one who does not know, for him The loss is immense. Because he loses Satyam, the Mahati Vinashtihi. That is what is that particular verse of Tenopanishad says that he has explained. Yeah.
Freedom from limitations is an already accomplished fact. Not knowing that you have to take yourself as other than limitless, which can only be limited.
See, what he means is, it is not just you are not knowing one thing. Okay, if I don't know one thing, doesn't matter. So many other things I have to know, I am knowing all that. No, by not knowing this, you are losing everything. That is what he says. By knowing which, everything is gained. By not knowing, everything is lost. Even in spite of whatever you know, other things, and do other things, gain, acquire and enjoy, it will all be dukkha lesa. Swamiji used to say, it will be laced with dukkha. Whatever you enjoy in life, it will always, at the back end, the shruti will be, something is missing. Irrespective of whatever you have enjoyed. Whereas, once you know this, even small things, big things, everything will be a vibhuti. Like, you will be able to enjoy everything in small and big ways. Because you have got the canvas of life clear. Purnam, that part of it is clear. That's what he says. So it cannot be just taken as lightly, okay, I have not known one thing, that's all. No. Mahati Vinashtiki. And he says that limitless, once you lose the understanding of limitlessness is your loss. That's what he says. Yeah.
Swamiji, that in beginning, ahankara reduces itself not to another thought form, but to the content of the thought form, which is consciousness.
Yeah. See, ahankara means what? Aham karomi iti ahankara.
Okay. No, but then
The doership.
Doership. What is ahankara?
Doership belongs to what? Mind, body, intellect. Whereas you are mistakenly identifying the I with your mind, body and intellect, then only you call yourself as ahankara.
Okay.
Whereas the realities of I is something other than the mind, body and senses. So the ahankara actually, mind, body and senses, at least we can count on them because they are instruments. They are available for use. Whereas ahankara is a fictitious entity. In the sense, it doesn't have a reality of its own, and it vitiates the reality of I. It misappropriates mind, body, and senses and intellect, and give and make them something like they are together. They operate. It is me. And whereas it is basically, it doesn't exist. Mind, body and senses, they are all just instruments. They don't have they are jada. Okay, so you are making a Chetana Purusha into a jada. Ahankara, that's what it does. Ahankara, what it does, you being a Chetana Purusha, it is converting it into a jada by saying that you are nothing but your body, mind, senses. So that's why he says ahankara, that once which you read?
The beginning of the para. On inquiry.
Ahankara, the subject, on inquiry, this I is not ahankara, I is aham, I the being. Ahankara is, as I said, that is aham karomi iti ahankara. In the sense, the instruments of body, mind, senses with which you do things, you gain doership, that he appropriates and misappropriates and says it is I. The subject reduces itself not to another thought form, but to the content of the thought form, which is consciousness. So that what do you call the ahankara, the thought form which is fictitious, vanishes. Once on inquiry, you find that ahankara does not even exist. Body, mind, senses exist as instrument, and I, the being, Chetana being, exists. Where is ahankara is gone on inquiry, like as I was always used to tell, Araya the Vrindali. So that is how it is. Ahankara is totally, in the sense, kinchit bhavamasti. It is purely an embodiment of avidya. Its rupam is nothing but avidya, ignorance. That is the worst part of it. Ahankara's, it's an embodiment of avidya. That is why we cannot, it doesn't stand scrutiny. On scrutiny, it goes off. Even preliminarily, if you inquire really, you know that ahankara does not have a place in your life. Body, mind, senses are instruments in which you do things, and I, the being, is there. I, the being, but you don't know yet what it is all about. But so that is why you surrender to Lord, you pray, please be a happy person and all that. Initially, you start like that. But ahankara, once you start inquiry, ahankara vanishes. That is what he says. Once you start inquiry, so ahankara reduces itself to consciousness. It is not another thought form, because there is no thought form for ahankara. Ahankara does not have an existence. It is not like mind, body or something, where there is something tangible out there with which you can do business. Because ahankara is purely taking you for a ride. So that is what he says. On inquiry, this is ahankara. But generally in life, we all think that the ego is the most predominant thing. Since my identity with the body, mind, senses, and we think that we are an identified person in contrast to other people and other animals and other worldly objects as the ego. My ego is identified totally with my body, mind, senses, and together we think that there is an entity in life, which is not true. So that is where this inquiry leads you to understand what is the reality of life is. One is understanding the reality of I, the other thing, the understanding the unreality of ahankara. And also body, mind, senses, they are not body, mind, sense complex, is purely an instrument. They don't, they are jada, they don't have, you can't, either your body's vibhuti, height, weight and all that, or beauty, or your mind's vibhuti, intellect's vibhuti in terms of talent, skill and all that, and senses. You cannot appropriate them and say, I am these things. Actually, if you really scrutinize, all these vibhutis belong to Ishvara. It belongs to the set called mind, body, senses. Samashti. Yasti belongs to Samashti. So that also they belong to the set called Samashti, and I is only the being, ahankara does not exist. Then what? So you have to only understand what is the I, then what am I? Then the question really comes, what am I? And then on inquiry and further shastra and all that you understand, the reality of I is the being. Svadesha kala vastu aparichinam. With which I am able to see my body, mind, senses and their operations. Even the world which belongs to the Samashti, all that I am able to see. And that being, since it is not bound by time, space or object, it is Purnam in itself because of its nature. The reality is, it is limitless. Because it is not limited by time, not limited by space. It is always is. Asti iti upalat, asmi, aham brahma asmi. So all the time asmi it is. The moment, the very previous moment, next moment and all are time. Whereas time, before time, I. Aham, I, the being, is before time and space were born. So you cannot judge the I, aham, with the yardstick of time and space. Because time is what? Time is what you give. Only when you give reality to time, time exists. In the sense, previous moment only you are looking for. Otherwise, the moment is gone totally. If you want to look, you use your memory. That is again a vritti of the mind. To that extent, some people have greater memory, some people have less memory, some people have memory of only wrong things, some people have memory of only right things. So it's all like that's how it is. So memory is purely a mind faculty. It is not, so the time, since it is a mind faculty, so time is not absolute and you are primordial, you are before time. I, the being, is before time. The same way space also. Here and there is basically because of your faculty. Okay, when your eyes can go only up to that much. So it is there. If it is here, it is here. So here and there is what? Is purely because of your faculties. Otherwise there is no here and there. There is only space. So it's all again faculty bound. There is no. So they come into life only because of the faculties, whereas you are before the faculties, I, the being. So, since they are again subservient to your choosing to know space and time or your mental faculty, so time and space is only a subordinate, whereas you are the ultimate, you are the being. So, once you know that time and space do not bind you, and you are as it is, you are without time and space. There is no objectification. So that means you are not even an object, but you are. You cannot. You don't have to ask anybody else whether I am there or not. I know I am. So what is that I am? That being is a reality. When we are talking about that, all these things do not count. So that is why he says, once this inquiry is begun, the content of the thought form, which is consciousness, you arrive at as your reality. Whereas time and space is a content of the thought form. In the sense, it is available for use. That's all. So here and now is your reality. And so, here does not have any time, any dimension. Now does not have any dimension.
But until we inquire and get to know this,
then till then the ego has a filled time. Ego has a filled time, and that worst part of it is ego is being fictitious. It can only take you for a ride. It cannot really be helpful in life. Mind, body, senses will help because they are instruments. But ego, that is why you have to be very alert to that. That is why Shastra, first thing it catches is the ego. And it wants you to scrutinize that and understand its reality. It doesn't exist. Then you have to naturally know, if as ego, if I don't exist, what am I? You cannot live in a vacuum, right? If I am not ego, what am I? Then automatically the real inquiry starts. Then you cannot live like that without, if I am not my ego, what am I? Then you will understand that the ego is the I is the being. But only that it cannot be objectified, it will take so that is why the Shastra helps. The Pramana, the Guru helps in saying that you are the awareful being. What is already praptasya prapti, all that. In the sense, he will give various examples, various anecdotes, dasama drishtanta, all that he will give and make you understand that you are already there. And as being, since it is not objectifiable, as what you call time and space, or it's not even an object, then how can I be? Yes, you are there. That is why the dream example, that is why the sleeping example. You sleep well, next day morning you get up, and you sleep, none of those faculties were operating. All mind, body, sense, everything was totally at rest. You were not there. But still, next day morning you say, I had a very good sleep. Because I was there. What is that I? Inquire. So you cannot deny the reality of the I. It's very easy. Because every day you go through sleep, dream, waking, sleep, dream, waking. And you cannot say in the waking whatever I think I am is the real I. It is not correct. Because all the three you are going through. Every day you are going through. So what is the reality in dream? What is the reality in sleep? Your waking body, mind, senses were not there. Even in dream it was not there. But still, lot of things are happening in the dream. Who was lighting it up? Jyotisham Jyotihi, the light of consciousness. Hiranyagarbha, whatever you call it. The being. Again light, only the Jyotisham Jyotihi light. In sleep, even the Jyotisham Jyotihi was not available next day, but you know that you were there. That means what? Even without lighting up the dream, the being is already there, even though it is dormant, but the light was very much there. That is why you are next day morning you are getting up with all the light. So that means that is your reality. What subsists, all the three avasthas, waking, sleep and dream, what was constant, that is your reality. So every day we are going through that, but we refuse to see that because we don't scrutinize. Basically we have come up to 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years assuming that I along with my ego, along with my body, mind, senses, is my reality. So it's not only now in this birth, we have been going like that for many janmas. So it is got a samskara. You have to get out of that samskara. By scrutinize it. That is what we are doing.
But in the Jagrat state, Swamiji, how to we see sometimes we realize later that the ego is playing a part there. But before we are not able to do that. Before we say something or do something, how to realize that before, so that we know.
You have to be alert. That apramata I have been telling all along. You have to be alert to this understanding. Once we have this understanding, once we are more and more more and more we find this understanding efficacious. This is the reality that you have to sink in your psyche, so that as any thought inappropriate, contrary to this understanding comes up in your mind, you are able to say, no, I am not supposed to act on this basis. Okay, it may be impulsive. So that is what? The two-step reaction. But then so what? So both. That is what? The two-step response to any situation, that gap between the two what and then so what, that should keep reducing. In such a way, at some point in time, once you feel like reacting, immediately you will be able to put it down, saying, no, this is not appropriate. So this will precede, this will predominate the wrong action you would have otherwise taken. So that is what? That alertness, that the gap between the reality and the unreality should reduce. The time gap in terms of how you respond, the time gap between the reality-based action and the unreality, that is mistaken identity action, the time should reduce. For a period of, once you constantly are at it, it will reduce. And meditation will help, and reflect, constant relook at whatever you are studying, and satsang, association, all this will help in terms of reducing that time gap between our ego-based action and keeping the ego in abeyance and acting appropriate to the given situation. That will have to, and slowly it will vanish. The ego will vanish because it doesn't have a place to hide. So it will go. That's what this whole the idea of one is understanding, second is living the understanding. The living the understanding is will happen once the understanding is thorough. In the sense, the clarity should be there. That this is what life is. This is how it is. This is how we have to look at it. And once that clarity improves, automatically it will impinge on your reality and your life. That will happen. You don't have to be alert to that. That's all. It will happen.
Sorry, I have a point. Getting irritated or getting angry is because of ahankara.
Getting actually it is because of ahankara based reaction. It's a reaction. Reaction in the sense you are what you call it, giving a go by to your faculty of thinking at all. You are going to totally go by impulse. Reaction is purely mechanical. Anger or whatever you call it, it's all mechanical. It is not a deliberate action.
So when we see something and get irritated, when we get the feeling of getting irritated, if we keep ourselves from the body and watch,
yeah, in the sense, keep it in abeyance. Don't feel irritated, but don't act on it. Just allow it to cool. Give a cooling period. Then what am I angry about? What am I anxious about? Just look at it and see the reality of it. Okay, this is what it is. I have to do this, and okay, you may still go ahead and do that action deliberately, but not out of anger, not out of a reaction. Yeah. So, the sense you take charge of your I and with reference to your body, mind, senses, you act using them. But I should not be the ahankara. Ahankara is a purely, as I said, it's fictitious, and it has already taken you for a ride by bringing in a samskara of a reaction. Reaction and all is purely ahankara based. There's nothing to do with I. So once you don't give that importance to the ahankara, automatically the I will predominate. And I, you know that you have nothing to do with nothing. You are already a Purana being. Okay, but there is a situation I have to respond. I will respond appropriately. What is nyayama, dharmama, whatever I can do, I will do. I will not, even though it is irritating me, I will not do anything which is inappropriate. Okay, if it is within my capability, within my dharma, I will be able to suppose for in a given situation, on the road also, somebody fights with another person, somebody beats somebody, what you will do, no, it's not correct. So immediately you will feel either threatened or you feel even want to run away from that place. Immediate reaction is, some jagada is going on, I don't want to be there. So that will be the immediate reaction because you have a feeling of insecurity. So whereas once you take a pause and see whether the two people, one of them I know, whether I can stop that action or I can call the 101, call the police and tell them, see, something is going on badly here, it may go out of hand, please attend to it. So all those things you will be able to do appropriately only when you don't get totally emotionally reactive to the situation, either fear or anxiety or insecurity. That comes out of a false identification of ego with your life. So that is where it is that these things help. And over a period of time, every time you act like that, this will get reinforced. This understanding of life and your I, the being, and the realities of life will become predominant. And you yourself will feel that comfortable. This is the way I have to go about my life. The ego and all will slowly vanish because it's a false I.
Swamiji, I'll just give you a situation. I don't know how to interpret it. See, suppose I'm searching for something and I'm not able to get it. So I ask somebody there, did you see this? They say no. There's a person sitting, but they have not responded or done anything. Then I go and ask that person, did you? Then that person says, yes, it was there. How do you, accept that? Do you think that, like you said, that person thinks I am not involved, let me not bother, like that, like you said, that giving space, or is it because of ahankaram? I don't know. That's what I'm asking. Because it happened.
No, see, I tell you.
That person is generally calm in nature. They don't generally, you can say that quite balanced mind. So do I take it as that, okay, she didn't ask me, I didn't tell her. She asked, I told her. Like that? Or why can't they do it before? When I'm asking others, yes, it was there, I saw it.
The thing is that is where it has to be judged in the sense how we are empathetic. One is how we are empathetic and be sensitive to others' needs. That is also equally important. That means what? That if you are not sensitive means you are still isolated. It is not a question of just being calm or something. It is a question of being empathetic. The oneness, if it is really the calmness is out of out of understanding life, then it will be empathetic. Even if it is not his problem, if he can help, he will help.
Okay.
So that is important. So that is in terms of since you are asking how to judge that person, I am telling. But really, in real terms, I don't know exactly.
No, it's not judging, but to understand the person better.
Yeah, exactly. When in such a situation, if I am there, I will go out of the way and help. That is how we should look at it. In the sense, that is how we have to live. For our own judgment of ourselves, we have to be empathetic. It is not enough that the oneness has to translate into Sarvatma Bhava, meaning all the unity, the oneness involves everyone. All beings are one, the one same powerful being, only the body, mind, senses are different. So, in transaction also, whatever way can help, the other person is helping yourself only. Because the being is the same. The one Sarvatma is there in every one of us. So, if the other person is afflicted, if I can help, the sense it will be, it's only natural for a person who understands life.
Okay.
That is very important. So, that is why, there is actually the I and the other is artificial bifurcation. That is again Mithya only. There is no other. So, that is why Advaitam, what they call, Advaitam is not opposed to Dvaitam. Generally, in Sanskrit, a student also if you ask, what is Avastu, he will say other than Vastu. But in Vedanta, what we say, what is not other than Vastu is called Avastu.
Okay.
Because there is no second thing. There is not even the first thing. There is only one. There is only being. So likewise, Advaitam means Tatra Dvaitam na Vidyate is called Advaitam. It is in Sanskrit terms, it is a Bahuvrihi compound, not a Tatpurusha compound.
Tatra, can you please repeat?
Tatra Dvaitam na Vidyate. It is called Advaitam. So the second, there is nothing called the other. So in that situation, if you are responding to life also, there is somebody needs some help, he will go ahead and do it because he is not the other. He is only just for the transaction purpose, you and I are talking. But you are not different from me. It is just for communication. But the reality is there is only one being. And even in body, mind, senses, the body, mind, senses are a subset of the body, mind, senses of Samashti. The Vesti is a subset of Samashti. That is why what medicine works on you will work on me also. Because the body, mind, the blood, everything is one and the same. Panchabhuta. Yes, for transaction purpose, we are put a skin cover separate Bhagavan. So then we are transacting. But there is no really second. And the bhavam should be there. With this understanding of the reality, that bhavam also should be there. There is no other. So if anyone else, the second body needs some help, we should be able to do it. If we can do it, we should do it. So that is the ultimate understanding. Sense you have to. It's holistic. It doesn't allow any deficiency.
Swamiji, similarly, avidya or ignorance is also not other than vidya.
What is that?
Avidya, avidya, that is ignorance. We can call it other than vidya.
No, avidya is opposite to vidya. It is not other than vidya. It is opposite to vidya. Because avidya, when vidya is there, avidya will not be there. It is something like light and darkness. Where light is, darkness will not be there. In the same way, where avidya is there, vidya will not be there. Where vidya is there, avidya will not be there. So vidya and avidya are opposites. It is not like what you call Dvaitam and Advaitam. Advaitam includes Dvaitam.
Yes, exactly.
Whereas you can't say Vidya includes Avidya. No. Where Vidya is there, Avidya will not be there. So there are different things like that is what they call Nanju Bhashyam. There is something called Nanju Bhashyam, I have told before also. There are 5 types of Nanj. What is opposite, what is Anyarte Nanj, what I have told Bahurihi Nanj and all that. 5 types of Nanj are there. You have to see the context and see whether it is opposite or other than. What they call Satyam and Mithya It is not, Mithya is not opposed to Satyam or Satyam is not opposed to Mithya. What Mithya does not exist without Satyam, whereas Satyam exists without Mithya. So they are not exactly opposite. So they are anirvachana. Mithya actually does not have existence, like even your ego. Mithya does not have any existence. It is Sat, it is Kinchit Bhavamasti, they say. It is just till the time you don't understand life, it will be there, that's all. So like that, different types of Nanja are there. So Avidya, Vidya is totally opposite. Whereas Advaitam, Dvaitam, it is not, Tatra Dvaitam na Vidyate is Advaitam. Because Dvaitam is Mithya. It does not exist. Advaitam is a reality. Till the time you don't understand, Dvaitam is there.
So I see.
Yeah. And thereafter also, like, even though I know that the powerful being, the being is a reality between you and me, even then, we will still be able to transact as you and me. Because like something like, even though I know the sun does not rise or set, but still sunrise and sunset I will be able to appreciate. In the same way, even I know that the reality of you and me are one and the same being, but still, that is called Badita Anuvritti. In the sense, having understood, negated the unreality of the difference between you and me, still I am able to transact between you and me. That is called Badita Adhyasa or Mithya. Basically, it is Mithya like that.
We read about it in Gita sometime, the 9th chapter.
It will come, it will come.
Badita.
Badita, yes. Whole life is, once you understand, even the Upanishad, what he says, a person who understands how will he behave? He will behave like Jadaval Lokam Acharet. You can't find out. He will transact like everyone else. You
have told us.
Yeah. Famous statement in Mandukya Upanishad. Jadaval Lokam Acharet. Yeah.
So in the same way, when I'm just asking, when we extend help also, if we should not, what shall I say? We should not think when transactions, when those people, when whom we help, if they say something, they comment anything on your way of helping.
Yeah, even they may not even say thanks. They may not even say thanks. They will take the help, but they may not even say, it doesn't matter. Okay, as far as you are concerned, you understand the life, overall life, so you give whatever possible, you give help. That's it, and leave it at that. It is, of course, in a situation where suppose he is in a position, he wants to have your advice, or he is in a position where you would like him to be a better person, at some point in time you can tell him, see, you must be grateful, like somebody helps you, all that you can tell, but not in the context where you are showing your displeasure. No. You can still help him, but as far as you are concerned, you should not, as I was telling that because he has not said thanks also, it should not hurt you. Then the whole purpose is defeated. You are bigger than
sometimes in the process of help also, if they don't like certain things that you are doing, they will openly say, what help you are doing like this, they comment, you should not be.
Basically the problem is in terms of, that is their problem. You cannot you take it upon yourself. That's what I am trying to say. If somebody tells something wrong, you cannot, for his mistake you should not get hurt. It's a bad bargain. That's what I am saying.
Purpose of help itself is to go without any ahankara. That is what
you are growing bigger than what you are helping with. That is the bigger. You are becoming a bigger person. That is the immediate drishtapalam. That is the drishtapalam. That you gain it. Nobody can stop that. Even the other person cannot stop it. Because you already, that you have given, that gives you that a sense of oneness with the other person, a sense of detachment with the things which you part with. All these things make you a bigger person. Since you don't need that sort of a prop anymore for you to be your being. So all these things help, like in terms of, it is all, all values are main only to create an infrastructure where you are able to accept this reality claim this reality as your own. That is what the whole thing is all about. The transaction per se does not really matter, but it helps you to grow. That's what is important.
In fact, the loss is infinite because what you are losing is the infinite. Exactly what you want to accomplish. Freedom from limitations is an already accomplished fact. Not knowing that you have to take yourself as other than limitless, which can only be limited. Experience and interaction confirms that, and you cannot help but experience the pain of limitation. Thus the endless struggle to be different begins not realizing that no matter what you do, you will be the same limited person. From the Shruti, you understand that if there is ignorance, the person is bound. If there is knowledge of the self, he is free.
So that's good, and the whole clarity is very profound. In the sense, without knowing, without understanding this, whatever you do, however intelligent and whatever Shakti you have and all that, whatever you achieve, you will still be a limited person. That is what he is trying to say.
Actually, that endless struggle to be different begins. Oh, that's what we are all trying to do. It's a struggle.
Is that even that most people don't discern. They don't think that we are, from childhood, I have done well in exams, I have passed one after degree, another degree I have been taking, one after another job I have been taking, I am getting promotion, I have been taking money, I have been enjoying, but still I am looking for more. That means what? Whatever I have done till now, whatever I have achieved, once it becomes yours, you don't enjoy it, you don't have that value, you are looking for something else. That means what? Limited only. Whereas you are looking for the limitless. So, what you are looking for, you must be very clear. That is why that Vairagyam, Swamiji always used to say, seeing the absence of what you want, between what you want and what you do. Seeing the absence of connection between what you want in life and what you do. That is called Vairagya.
Very good. Yes, very good.
That is Viveka based Vairagya. In the sense, you have discerned whatever I do, I am going to be still limited. Whereas what I want is limitless. So, limitless is not going to, I am not going to gain limitless by gaining more and more and more. More and more and more itself makes you feel limited only. Whereas what you are looking for limitless. So, with the limited endeavor, I cannot gain limitless. That means what? In my life, by endeavor, I am not going to gain limitless. Then, but I want to be limitless. There is no choice. Because innate, right from beginning of my life, I have always been looking for limitless. I want Purnatvam. So it's a natural problem. So there should be a natural solution. Maybe the way in which I am going about it is wrong. I have to look at it, the Andarmukhi Bhava. That is why I have to look at it differently. That is called Vairagyam. That I have to look at it differently is a Vairagyam. Based on Viveka. Pariksha lokan karmachitam nirvaida mayat brahmanaha nasti akritaha kritena tad vijnanartam gurumevavi gachet. Then he will tell, yeah, correct, this is not the way. You are already limitless. Your understanding of your life, what is your reality, you have not known. That is why you are chasing. You are chasing the shadow. Whereas the sun is on the other side. Just turn back. Then shadow will chase you. He will not chase the shadow. That is precisely what it is, yeah.
The one who knows the self as Brahman is immortal. Another Shruti says, the one who knows that in this way becomes immortal here. Tam evam vidwan amrita iha bhavati. Taitriya, next paragraph.
Vidwan amrita iha bhavati. Inge varade.
Taitriya Aranyaka potu.
That is okay, but we are regularly doing it, no? Purusha Suktam. Purusha Suktam சொல்றேன் இல்லையா எல்லா பூஜையிலையும் இருக்குமே.
Yeah.
Bhavati.
Yeah.
Tamevam vidvan amrita iha bhavati. And the next sentence is more beautiful. Nanyam panta unless you understand no other way. Nanya panta means there is no other way you can know life. You have to understand. You have to become vidwan. Vidwan of Atma Jnanam. So everyday puja la ella puja la ella vadyaram solluvar. But they will never say the meaning for this. Tamevam vidvan amrita iham bhavati nanya panta ayanaya vidyate. அப்படிங்கிறது famous for all pujas. But nobody will tell the meaning.
Yes.
வந்து நீங்க மாட்டுக்கு படிக்க போயிட்டேன்னா அப்புறம் அவரை கூப்பிட்டு தட்சணை கொடுக்க மாட்டேன். அதெல்லாம் அவசியம் இல்லை, அப்படியெல்லாம் நினைக்க வேண்டிய அவசியம் இல்லை. They can tell properly. Then we will have greater respect for him. That they don't understand. Yeah.
Not only that, they have no time.
No time. That's also there. They are so busy going after puja or something. Because it has become a sort of like that's vacation. Vacation it has become. That is also there. The sense you can't blame one person or two person. It's all the whole society of it has evolved. Totally ritualistic and other thing.
Another thing, they should also receive it. No, Swamiji, if he says, if they explain also, some of them won't be bothered to even listen.
Yeah, that is also there. That is why it has stopped.
Yeah,
it might have been there some generations back. But
Exactly.
people have lost interest both ways. Now we have lost interest, though they have lost interest. They have lost interest, so we have lost interest. So it's all, that is why, karma is like that only.
They become a profession to make money, that's all.
Yeah. So karma, doshavat karma. That's why Shastra says doshavat karma. Whether it is Vaidika karma or Laukika karma. Karma means doshavat. Understanding alone is shreyas. That is what we are trying to do. You have to understand life. Unless understanding predominates, karma will not help. Once understanding is there, karma will be meaningful. That is what it is, yeah.
The one who knows this self in this manner as identical with Brahman is immortal. Previously he considered himself subject to time and therefore mortal. With the discovery of himself as timeless, he is no longer under the misconception that he is bound by time. Here time stands for every sort of limitation. Even though the body continues to be bound by time, he knows that essentially he is not. The notion of being a mortal is completely nullified and therefore the I is free from the limitations caused by time, etc. And this liberation is iha, here in this birth, not after death. If the individual soul survives death, it will continue to be an individual soul that cannot by definition be free of the sense of limitation. Since this knowledge can be gained now while in a human form, it means it is a form that is eligible for this knowledge.
Yeah, that is what he means is that tamevam vidvan amrita iha bhavati. That iha is meaning here, now, not postponed. Yeah.
There is no way other than knowledge for moksha. Shruti herself makes it clear that there is no other way than knowledge to gain this freedom. Nanya panta vidyate ayanaya.
That's what I was telling.
Shvetasutra Upanishad.
Yeah, அங்கேருந்து எடுத்து போட்டிருக்கா. They are all taken from various Upanishads and assembled and put there. That is how it is.
Purusha Suktam, Swamiji.
Narayana
Purusha
Suktam.
Suktam.
One of this, yeah. Either Narayana Suktam or Purusha. But all of them are, Suktams are all just collection from various Upanishads. Put together. That's all. Yeah.
From being a limited person, another path does not exist. In the freedom for freedom, from being a limited person, another path does not exist. When the whole problem is one of
he is explaining Nanyam Panta Vidyate Ayanaya. He is saying that for freedom from being a limited person, there is no other path. Another path does not exist, only knowledge. Yeah.
When the whole problem is one of ignorance, what other way is possible? If I do not know something and knowing it is going to mean my freedom, I must know. Experience is not going to accomplish that freedom for me. The self is always experienced, and moreover, all experiences happen because of this awareful self. Any type of experience, whether subjective or objective, in relation to an object external to the senses, implies the presence of consciousness.
We'll stop here. So we'll stop here. Good.
I think we will stop because there is a lot of discussions further.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we will continue.
A lot of information.
Now, slowly, some clarity.
Clarity alone makes the difference. Clarity, see, unless you are clear, you will not absorb it in your day-to-day life.
Yes,
Very important. This is a question of life and death. That much you must be able to give that importance. It doesn't cost anything. The sense, the problem is, as I was telling in the talk, even though right now I am telling this is a reality. It doesn't stop me from talking to you or doing anything. Whatever we need to do, we will do, continue to do. Bhagavan will take care.
yes.
Mitta matram bhava savyasachi, he knows. So you don't have to worry, if I understand life like this, I will not do anything. No, that is a misconception or mistaken projection. It's all not like that. If you understand, you will do it better. But not for doing better, I am saying this. That is only a corollary. Or I would say a good byproduct, that's all. But reality understanding is something which is they cannot be without as human being. But most people don't know, doesn't matter. We know now, let us make it topmost in our life. That is why. That is the importance.
Where are we stopping? Which subject?
There is no way other than knowledge for moksha. That is where you have to start.
Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Namaha Hari Om.